There is a lot of division in our world today, and people are different, and we have some differences. And sometimes I think we focus too much on those differences and not what we have in common. And so because of that, I think we will continually be divided if we don't understand how much we have and how much value we have in those things which we share in common. Well, today's verse talks about just that. In the light of the rich and the poor, what they have in common is much greater than they have in difference. In our series today, Get Wisdom. Hello, everybody. I'm Mr. Brown with Proclaim Ministries, and this is our series, Get Wisdom, day 22. We're almost done. We're doing all 31 Proverbs and digging for some treasures to find. And each day we do a verse, and we go through that verse. You can find this series on our YouTube channel, Proclaim Ministries. You can find it on our Instagram post. We do a little short minute video and a image every day. And you can find it on our podcast, which is Proclaim Ministries, the teaching podcast, different from the other podcast. We have two podcasts. Anyway, check it out. You can find out all the information if you visit proclaimministries.com/getwisdom. I said visit proclaimministries.com/getwisdom. But today we can talk about Proverbs chapter 22, verse 2. So actually 222. Chapter 22, verse 2, which says this: the rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 2. And I love this verse. That's why I picked it, because I think we focus on our differences. And sometimes those differences equate in value wrongly. Like, we look at rich people, we think, or popular people or athletes, that they have more value because they've achieved something, they made some money. And we look at the poor or even the middle class and think they're not as good because of their value. And I don't know if people would actually say that, but if you think about what's promoted and what people get passes on certain things, or what we look to, what we ascribe to be, we don't necessarily ascribe to be people of integrity, people of honor. We ascribe to obtain. We ascribe to and we promote the idea that you're valuable because you've done this, or because you've achieved this, you made this kind of money, right? And we treat them with so much respect and honor because of that money. And we look down on people who are poor. Sometimes we don't even look at why they're poor. Maybe it's because they've been oppressed. Maybe it's because they never had an opportunity to do whatever they need to do. But we look down on them. And so we have to be very careful that we don't ascribe value to people simply because they have money or they don't have money. Because this verse says, the rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. That we've all been made, created in the image of God. This t-shirt I got, or this sweatshirt says Imago Dei, right? The image of God. That we've all been created in God's image. So our value doesn't come from what we do, what we achieve, how we look. It comes from the fact we've been made in the image of God. One day in Sunday school class, I was talking to our kids, and we're going around talking about the image of God and what makes them special. And one kid raised his hand. He said, Mr. Brown, I'm special because I have autism. And I said, wow. I said, we know you have autism. I'm grateful that you understand that, but that doesn't make you valuable. Your value comes from the fact you've been created by God and you have autism. But what makes you special is the fact you've been made by God. Your value doesn't come from your autism. It comes from who created you. But you have autism, and we can recognize that. But your value is the fact you've been created by God. Because someone who doesn't have autism, someone who looks pretty, or someone who, whatever we ascribe to, we think that makes them good. That doesn't make them any more valuable, because value comes from the Creator. God is a maker of them all. So I look at that and look at our value. And I remember one day that I was having a Bible study with some guys, and we were in the Starbucks, and saw this guy walking from across the street. He was coming our way, and he had on one shoe. He looked homeless. And, honestly, I just kind of felt uncomfortable. What's going to happen? He's going to ask me for money. What am I going to say? And then I just had this thought. I think God gave me this thought. He's been made in my image. That is my image bearer. That God made him, and he made me to bear his image. Now, through some of our choices, starting with the Garden of Eden, that image has been marred, right, because of our choices. But the value has always been there. It's kind of been covered, and Satan wants it to be covered. But that image, that value is still there because God made them all. And so I think of several things about that. Number one, don't look down on people because of their success or lack of success, or their homelessness, or whatever they find themselves, because God does not look down on them. God made them in his image. He made them to show how awesome God is, to be bearers of God's image. I think that's amazing. Number two, understand that we're all accountable to the same God. We're all accountable to the same God. So that rich person, they're going to be accountable for what they have and who they are and what the choices they make. And we're going to be accountable to God too, wherever we are. And so please don't put value on people based on their achievement or lack thereof. Make sure their value is in the place it needs to be. The fact that God, the Lord, is the maker of them all. God made them and God made you. So please, whether you're a student, a mom, a man, please don't let anyone try to make you feel less than, because you've been made, I've been made in the image of God. I love the resource that the Bible Project made on this. They made a video called The Image of God. Please check it out. Go to BibleProject.org or BibleProject.com. Check it out. I think it's amazing, but understand our value comes from the Creator. So I'm going to read that verse one more time because I really like it. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 2. The rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. Apply that verse in your life every day to get wisdom.